drawn to the mainland by the lure of bigger cities and brighter prospects. Now it was just him and the sea. He cut the engine, letting the small boat drift. The silence was profound, broken only by the cries of gulls circling overhead. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, smooth stone, worn smooth by the relentless tide. It was one of Eleni's favorites, one she always kept in her apron pocket, a tangible piece of the earth she loved. "What do I do now, Eleni?" he whispered to the wind. The words were lost in the vastness of the sea. But the question remained, a heavy weight in his chest. He missed her laugh, the way she hummed while kneading dough, the comforting presence of her hand in his. He missed everything. Days after her passing had blurred into weeks of profound grief. He couldn't bring himself to go to the taverna, to share a glass of ouzo and listen to the boisterous tales spun by his friends. The thought of their well-meaning condolences felt like salt in an open wound. Instead, he stayed in their small, whitewashed house, surrounded by memories, each one a fresh pang of sorrow. One afternoon, his son, Dmitri, had arrived from Athens, his face etched with concern. "Papa," he'd said, "gently, you can't keep living like this. You need to move on." "Move on?" Eris had retorted, his voice sharp with anger. "How can I move on when half of my soul is buried in the earth?" Dmitri, bless his heart, had tried to understand. He spoke of grief counseling, of support groups, of finding a new hobby. But his words felt empty, hollow. He couldn't possibly understand the depth of the bond he shared with Eleni, the silent language they spoke, the shared history etched into the lines on their faces. He looked out at the horizon, where the sky met the sea in a hazy embrace. He remembered a lesson Eleni had taught him years ago, during a particularly fierce storm. They were caught out at sea, their small boat tossed about like a toy. Fear had gripped him, but Eleni had remained calm, her eyes fixed on the distant lighthouse. "The sea is powerful, Eris," she'd said, "but it is also forgiving. You must learn to ride the waves, not fight them." Could he ride this wave of grief? Could he find a way to navigate these turbulent waters? He closed his eyes and a memory surfaced, vivid and clear. He and Eleni, young and full of dreams, standing on this very shore, their hands intertwined. They had just bought this small plot of land, a barren patch of earth overlooking the sea. People had scoffed, said it was impossible to grow anything there. But Eleni had been determined. She'd spent months tending to the soil, enriching it with seaweed and compost. She planted olive trees, fig trees, and a riot of colorful flowers. Slowly, miraculously, the barren land had transformed into a vibrant oasis, a testament to her unwavering spirit. He opened his eyes, a flicker of understanding dawning in his heart. Eleni hadn't fought the harshness of the land. And took out the smooth stone. He held it in his hand, feeling its coolness against his skin. He remembered Eleni telling him that each stone held a story, a memory of the sea that had shaped it. "Eris," he said, his voice barely audible.
"How are you, my boy?" Aris asked.
Gently. Giannis shrugged, his eyes. The grieving widower. He was Eris, the fisherman, the husband, the father, the friend, the mentor. He was a part of this village, a part of this sea, a part of something larger than himself. And in that moment, he understood that letting go wasn't about forgetting. It was about transforming grief into something beautiful, something meaningful. It was about honoring the past while embracing the future. It was about finding the strength to ride the waves, to navigate the storms, and to keep sailing even when the sea was dark and the horizon seemed impossibly far away. It was about understanding that true wisdom lies not in clinging to what we have lost, but in cherishing what remains and in sharing that love with those who need it most.